Yeah. I mean, there's always been that, really. Over the years, I've tried different sort of ways of trying to lose weight. Some have worked, but then you don't stick to them, and then eventually, the weight creeps back on again, and so forth. So it's been a long time of being frustrated about your weight problem, and just wanting to be more healthy. And the older I've got, the more difficult it's become to lose it. So I just felt that I needed to sort of have something a bit more disciplined, hence yourself, to try and have some guides which way to go with it, because I just felt like I was just treading water with it all the time. Um, yeah, I mean, probably I was fully aware that every time you ate something you shouldn't eat, you shouldn't have it. It's not that I was thinking, oh, I can eat that and it'd be okay. Um, so I fully understood that eating the right foods would be the way forward, but it's just self-discipline. You as I've said to you before, you might feel fed up or a bit down in the dumps, and you feel like you need to sort of treat yourself to something to cheer yourself up, which invariably is a lot of rubbish that you're putting in your system. um, and yeah, so whilst I started putting weight on over the years and then losing some, it's been up and down all my life, really, all my sort of adult life. Um, I still knew what the good foods were and the bad foods were, but it doesn't stop you doing it unless you've got some sort of self-discipline, which sometimes just dwindles. And yeah, yeah, sort of trying to find the right sort of phrase, really, but sort of you know you've got no sort of self sort of worth, if you understand what I mean. You sort of kind of just oh, eat it, and then all of a sudden you yeah, and also it's not until you sort of maybe put a bit of clothing on that you ain't wore for some time that you think I don't fit, and really you put weight on anyway, but you kind of needed something like that to make you go, oh, I must try and lose some weight. I've definitely put weight on, and it wears you down as well, because you kind of, if you're spending most of your life constantly, you get on scales, oh blimey, I put weight on, try and lose a bit of weight, and it's back on again. It's really soul destroying, and it's like, in the end, you just kind of, you get into that sort of give up mode, if you know what I mean. You just think,
Yeah.
like, I mean, it's an excuse and a poor excuse, but that is a fact,
It's a frustration.
Yeah.
It's an excuse. Frustration is something that you realise is in your way of achieving what you'd like.
Yeah. My concern was obviously my age, and the fact that I knew I was quite a bit overweight, and I didn't want to sort of end up being one of these people that have a massive heart attack or, serious illness, which doesn't always, I mean, people still get serious illnesses even if they're slim, but, there's no point sort of added to that problem by being overweight. So that was a big factor where I thought, if I want to, like, just spoke to you about having a granddaughter, and you think I'd like to be around to see her grow up a bit before, before anything sort of untoward would happen. So that's a big factor. You sort of think, I've got to try and do something. If I want to sort of prolong my life, I need to sort of, do something about my health, and so that was always, I mean, it's always been there, that feeling in the back of your head, but when you're younger, you just think you're going to live forever. And then by the time you realise and the penny drops, you think, well, I've got to do something, because, I'm getting to that sort of vulnerable age. It's not too late, but it's like makes it massively difficult to try and sort of, get back to the more healthy state. Yeah.
Is there a mindset change there at all?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as I said to you when I came to you, I needed someone like yourself. I needed the discipline of being able, if it's just left to my own devices, I know what will happen, which is what's happened most of my life.
Yeah.
So the fact there's been a bit of a blip this week, it's nice to have views there to sort of, I know why. I've not sort of followed things the way I should have done and blah, blah, blah. We've already discussed this. But it's just nice to have someone there to say, right, this is why, and this is what's going to happen, this is what happened, and this is what we're going to do to go forward again. And it gets you back on track, whereby if I didn't have the likes of yourself to do that, I would still probably think, oh, well, I know where I've gone wrong, I better try and get back. But you just can't leave someone there sort of always pushing you a bit, Yeah, I mean, well, we sort of just addressed a little bit of that in the last question, but obviously having you there sort of like it's a bit of a crutch really, because I can phone you or text you and say, oh, what do I do about this or whatever. So it's nice to know that someone's there. As in terms of yourself, there's nothing that I find negative at all. I'm not blowing smoke up your backside, but you're always positive, you're always helpful. You always come up with, you break everything down, explain everything in layman's terms so people can understand, because it's quite a sort of complicated subject, the human body and stuff, So no, I mean, in terms of yourself, I'm more than happy with what you've told me and, educated me on and the help you give and the sort of positivity and, it's great, hence why I've carried on with you, so yeah.
That's great.
Okay, mate.
That's great. Thank you, Nick. Thank you.